students. Today we will discuss the new subject for your triple E second year, that is thermal and hydro prime movers. Here the subject is basically taken from mechanical engineering department. Myself Rajesh K, faculty of mechanical engineering department, Chevron Engineering College, will be delivered the thermal and hydro prime mover subject for your entire semester. For the last semester also, for your seniors also, I have taught the subject and they got good percentage of pass mark. Only two or three students got failed and one student got absent. Here the subject is very interesting. At the same time, you can score the subject by practicing the problems and the figures. So majority in this subject you are dealing with the problems as well as the figures. Okay. So here the thermal prime mover subject is divided into two parts, part A and part B. In the part A you are having thermal prime movers, whereas in the part B you are having hydro prime movers. So in the part A is divided into three units. First mid, part B is divided into two units. Second mid, right? Now we discuss the basic introduction and syllabus of your thermal and hydro prime movers. Thermal and hydro prime movers. If you see the introductory part in the part A, you are having the thermal prime movers. In this unit we discuss what is the meaning of an engine. What is the meaning of an engine, right? And if you see any motor assembly, small motor casing or small motor assemblies at your home, those are run by electric current. If you see the mobile equipment like mobile vehicles or mobile equipment, how those materials are run, how the motor is running. If you take an example of lawn mower, if you take an example of lawn mower means it is cutting the grass in your balcony, in your open areas. So it is run by the electrical supply. Other thing, it can be run by the petrol or diesel. So like this you are having, depends upon the configuration, the engine can be rotated, the engine can be moved with the help of the petrol or diesel. Okay, next we will study the basic concepts of internal combustion engines. Internal combustion engines. So in this internal combustion engines, we are having the fuel and air fuel mixture takes place inside the cylinder. So basically heat engine means basically heat engine ante which converts the thermal energy, which converts the chemical energy into thermal energy, and from thermal energy into the mechanical energy. Overall we can say that a heat engine is a device or a unit which converts chemical energy into the mechanical energy. Means what is the chemical energy here? The fuel. It may be a petrol, diesel or gasoline. It is converting into thermal energy by the combustion of heat. When the combustion of heat takes place, later it is the thermal energy is later it is converted into mechanical energy by moving the mechanical members inside the engine. Later the engine ignites and the vehicle starts. That type of concepts we will discuss in the IC engines. Okay. The second thing, classification of IC engines. We are having very wide classification of IC engines. Depends upon the size, depends upon the configuration, depends upon the setup, depends upon the method of coolings, depend upon the type of fuel, depends upon the type of lubrication, depends upon the applications. Like this, the classification is divided into number of things. What is the feature? What are the features of engine? అంటే ఒక ఇంజిన్ అనేది ఎలా ఉండాలి, రైట్? ఒక ఇంజిన్ అనేది ఎలా ఉండాలి, ఎలా డిజైన్ చేయాలి, పైన పార్ట్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, కింద పార్ట్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, కేసింగ్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, రిజిడ్గా ఉండాలా లేదంటే నార్మల్గా ఉండాలా, వాట్ ఆర్ ద మెటీరియల్స్ యూ ఆర్ యూజింగ్ for manufacturing of the engine. So like this you can see all types of features in the engines. Next, applications. Once you know the concept of an engine, what are the classifications, what are the features, then you have to decide where the engine can be used. this can be used this can be used in various technologies. This can be used in various applications like mobile, stationary, and other domestic applications. Next, working principles of two-stroke engine, four-stroke engine. We will discuss the working principles of two-stroke engines and four-stroke engines. బాబు ఎంతమంది వచ్చారు? ఇంకా వస్తున్నారా? ఓకే ఓకే, అడ్మిట్ చేసేవాళ్ళని. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్, వర్కింగ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ఆఫ్ two-stroke petrol engine, working principles of four-stroke petrol engine, and their valve and port timing diagrams. So ఇక్కడ ఇంజన్ కి you are having two things. If you take the four stroke engine, you are having valves. అంటే valve అంటే opening means in the coming classes you can see the figures. I will show you the figures, videos, everything, so that you can easily understand what is the meaning of a valve, what is the meaning of a port. టూ స్ట్రోక్ అసెంబ్లీస్కి పోర్ట్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ వస్తుంది, ఫోర్ స్ట్రోక్ అసెంబ్లీస్కి వాల్వ్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ వస్తుంది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ద ఓపెనింగ్స్ ఫర్ ద ఎంట్రీ ఆఫ్ ద ఫ్యూయల్ మిక్చర్. సో దీని డయాగ్రామ్స్ మీన్స్ టాప్ డెడ్ సెంటర్, బాటమ్ డెడ్ సెంటర్, దేర్ వాల్వ్ పోర్ట్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ అండ్ different sort of cycles you can see in this working principles. Next, air standard cycles. Air standard cycles. So whenever you are entering, whenever the air is entering into the chamber of a cylinder or a engine, or whenever the fuel is entering into the cylinder, what type of air standard cycles we come across, we can see in this air standard cycles. Next, engine systems line fuel injection. So for diesel engines generally you are having the fuel injection system, whereas for the two stroke petrol engines you are having two stroke engines, you are having two stroke and four stroke petrol engines, you are having the spark plug, whereas for the four stroke diesel engines you are having the fuel injection pump. Okay, we can see all types of fuel injection pump in the those section. Next, carburation types. What is the meaning of carburetor? If you see any scooter, for example, if you see any Hero Honda vehicle or any Pulsar models bikes or the four stroke bikes, you can see the tank on the top. Below the tank you can see the on off switch for the moving of petrol from the pipelines. Below that you are having a carburetor, and the carburetor is attached to the petrol tank, and it is attached to the engine assembly through the pipe, through the hose pipe, through the hose pipe. So here the carburation, we are having various types of carburetors, depends upon the two stroke engine and the four stroke engine. We will discuss all types of carburation in the types of carburation system. Next, ignition types. What is the meaning of ignition? For example, if you see your if you see in the kitchen, you can see the stove and the igniter. So whenever you are igniting, whenever you are switch oning the burner, what happens? The LPG gas is coming out in the form of gas through the holes. Then How to lighten it? We require a igniter, that is nothing but a torch. So we require the igniter so that the gas will ignite by using the igniter. In the same way, what are the types of ignition system? Battery ignition system, magnetic ignition system, mechanical ignition systems. Like this, you are having various types of ignition system. We will discuss in the later sections. Next, cooling and lubrication types. What's the meaning of cooling and lubrication types here? So why we require cooling for an engine? Why we require lubrication for the engine? So depends upon the size and configuration of the engine. Depends upon the size and configuration of the engine. There are having number of cooling systems and the lubrication systems. So why we require lubrication? Why we require cooling? Means whenever the two-stroke or four-stroke or two-wheelers or four-wheelers are passing on the road for a longer time, moving on the roads for a longer time, then what happens? Thereby, at a certain point of time, the engine will get heated up. The engine will get heated up. For that reason, cooling must be required to cool the engine. So మీరు కూలింగ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ లేకుండా ఇంజిన్ మీరు కంటిన్యూస్గా ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ రన్నింగ్ ఆన్ ద రోడ్ going for any long journey without stopping the vehicle, at certain point of time the vehicle will stop. It will not get started because you are burning the fuel and also you are making the engine assembly, engine components to a high temperature, means you are heating very high. So that what happens, suddenly the ignition will stops. Later, after getting cooling or slowly after 10 minutes or 20 minutes, it will start the engine. So in order to avoid those things, what we do the cooling systems for the engines. Next, what are the types of cooling systems you are having? We are having air cooled engines, water cooled engines, right? Air cooling engines, water cooling engines. ఎక్కడ మనం ఎయిర్ కూల్డ్ ఇంజన్స్ యూస్ చేస్తాము, ఎక్కడ వాటర్ కూల్స్ ఇంజిన్ యూస్ చేస్తాము, it also depends upon the classification of IC engines only. So if you see the air cooled engine, there the engine size should be very small or medium, which are easily accessible. There you are using the air cooled engines, and the air cooled engine performance is very easy when compared to the water cooled engines. Okay, so the design of an engine is also very easy whenever you are using air cooled supply. The simple example is you take your moped, scooters, motorcycles, etc. So if you see the engine at the bottom of your tank in between the two tires, we can see the fins. Fins అంటే స్టెప్స్ లాగా ఉంటుంది ఇంజన్కి. సో వై యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ దట్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్? ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు pass the air in between the gaps. దాని గురించి the design is like that. So if you see any scooter or vehicle, two wheelers, without having the fins ఎక్కడన్నా ఉన్నదో లేదో మీరు గమనించండి. సో జనరల్లీ అలా ఉండదు, రైట్? Generally it will not be like that. For designing, right? For designing, for moving of air smoothly, the engine is designed in that format. Okay. Next, lubrication. Why we require lubrication? Because ఇంజిన్ కాంపోనెంట్స్ అనేవి కంటిన్యూస్లీ మూమెంట్లో ఉంటుంది. Whenever the lubrication is not there, what happens? The friction develops, thereby the engine will get heated. So engine oil, two-stroke engine oil, four-stroke engine oil, we are using 2T oils for the engine. Why we require 2T oils for the engine? In order to get good lubrication, thereby the components are moving easily and very smoothly. Thereby the efficiency is also increased. The efficiency is also increased. Friction develop అయిపోయింది అనుకోండి, automatically the engine parts will get heated. Then heat develop అయిన తర్వాత what we require, we have to cool the engines. So for that reason we have to study the cooling and lubrication systems. Next, engine performance evaluation. Next, even the whatever the concepts you are dealing, whatever the merits demerits applications you are using, whatever the types of ignition or types of carburetions you are using, the second phase is you have to see the engine performance. For example, if you see the two-stroke engine, then performance end. If you see the four-stroke engine, what is the performance? If you see the Hero Honda, what is the performance? What is the mileage? If you see the Ducati, if you see your KTM bike, what is the mileage or what is the efficiency? It depends upon what? It depends upon the cc, cubic per centimeter. Here the engine performance can be done based upon the engine configuration, based upon the size, based upon the cubic centimeter. We are using the engine performance, means the thermal efficiency, the brake efficiency, right, the mechanical efficiency. So like this we are having various types of performance evaluations. Based on that performance evaluations only we can give the specifications for the engine, and also we are having some problems related to the performance evaluation, right? We are having some performance evaluation. So like this you are using, different sorts of concepts in the unit 1. Next, in the unit 2 we are discussing about the thermal concepts only, where you are discussing the concepts of steam tables. We are discussing the concepts of steam tables, discussing the concepts of steam tables. In the steam tables, what you are seeing in the steam tables, you can see the T and S or H and S, temperature entropy, heat entropy diagrams, which are related to the engine assemblies, right? Which are related to the engine assemblies. Next, analysis of various thermodynamic and processes undergone by the steam. By using the steam, what are the various thermodynamic processes also we can see in the unit 2. Next, vapor power cycles. So for any efficiency, for any engine efficiency or performance of gas power cycles, we require some sort of cycles, that is Carnot cycle, Rankine cycle, Ericsson cycle. So like this you are having various types of cycles which are discussed in the vapor power cycle concept, right? So we are having some analysis related to the Rankine cycle, Carnot cycle, Otto cycle, diesel cycle, and we are having some problems associated with these cycles. Next, steam turbines. We will discuss the concept, what is the meaning of turbine, what does it do, where it is located, how it is operated. This are all comes under the steam turbine concept, and also the layout of the steam turbine power plant, where it is located, where it is steam turbines are located. Wind turbines, if you see the wind turbines in Andhra and Telangana, in Andhra and in Andhra and Tamil Nadu, majority you can see in the Tamil Nadu fields. If you see the wind turbines, you are having a big fan blades which are placed in the field in order to generate electricity by the means of wind. In the same way, the steam turbines power plant you can see in any power plants like Nagarjuna Sagar power plant or any some other RTPV power plant. Wherever the water is located, you can see such type of steam power plants. And also classification of steam turbines based upon the configuration, based upon the application, the classification can be done. Next, impulse turbine and reaction turbine. So here you are seeing the impulse and reaction turbines. In the turbine classification, you can see the impulse turbine as well as reaction turbine, right? Impulse turbine and reaction turbine. Next, what are the compounding? Compounding means connecting, compounding means mixing. Here you can see various sorts of applications of the compounding in the turbines. Next, velocity diagrams for simple impulse and reaction turbines, work done and efficiency. In the same way, whatever you are seeing the air standard cycles, cycle diagrams, the same thing you can see for this vapor power cycles also, and also the reaction and impulse turbines, the work done and their efficiency, performance efficiency, based upon the work done, based upon the mechanical efficiency, based upon the thermal efficiency, based upon the overall efficiency, you are having some problems related to the impulse turbine and reaction turbine, right? Impulse turbine and reaction turbine. So like this you are having different concepts which you can deal in the unit 2. Next, unit 3. In the unit 3 you come across the concept of turbines. So there you are seeing the unit 2, the steam turbines. Here you can see the gas turbines. Here you can see the gas turbines. What you can see in the gas turbines here? So in the gas turbines, the same thing. The classification of gas turbines, the classification of gas turbines, the applications of gas turbines, the features of gas turbines, simple gas turbine power plant, the ideal cycles, closed cycles, open cycles. So what's the meaning of cycle here? It is related to the performance systems where you are having closed loop and open loop. Next, the efficiency of the gas turbines, the work done ratio of the gas turbines, optimum pressure ratio for a simple gas turbine cycle. So in the unit 2, whatever the features, whatever the efficiencies, whatever the work done you are seeing, the same thing you can see in this unit 3 also. Otherwise, the next, the analysis of simple cycles, actual cycles with intercooling. The same thing, whatever the cycles you are discussing in the unit 2, the same thing you can see in the unit 3 also. Reheating and regeneration. So during the figures, whatever we explained in the unit 3, by seeing the figures and by seeing the concept, you can understand what is reheating and regeneration. Based on that, you are having some problems associated for the gas turbine cycles. Next, unit 4 and unit 5. Now the total part A is completed. What is the part A here? The engines, the gas turbines, the steam turbines and associated problems. Next, in the part B, we will discuss about hydro prime movers. Hydro prime movers means అక్కడ థర్మల్ మీన్స్ ద కెమికల్ ఎనర్జీతో, అంటే పెట్రోల్ డీజిల్ గ్యాసోలైన్తో నడిచే వాటిని పార్ట్ ఏలో తెలుసుకున్నాము. ఇన్ ద పార్ట్ బి వీఆర్ యూజింగ్ ద హైడ్రో మీన్స్ వాటర్తో నడిచే యంత్రాలు యూ కెన్ సీ ఇన్ ద పార్ట్ బి సెక్షన్. So in the unit 4 you are having the concept called jets and pumps. Okay, jets and pumps. The introduction of the jets and pumps. What is the meaning of jet here? A high a high velocity flow of water from an orifice is nothing but a jet. అంటే ఒక పైప్లో నుంచి వాటర్ ప్రెషర్గా వస్తున్న దాన్ని జెట్ అంటాం. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ ద వాటర్, if you do any small experiment, take any pipe connected to the tap and keep your finger at the mouth of the tap and release the water. The water will flow with a high pressure and hits the outer surface. Or if take your hand, take your palm, take your right hand or left hand, keep the pipe opposite direction of your hand and keep a finger at the opening of the orifice. Then what happens here? Here it flows, the water flows with a high pressure. The water is flowing with high pressure. So at that point of time, then what it is occurring there, when the water is flowing in different directions. Why? Because you kept a hand in front of the water. Or else whenever you are removing the finger from the, or if a finger from the entry of the pipe, the water is flowing normally. Whenever you are keeping the finger So in order to avoid the finger, we are using an orifice, a nozzle, where you are having a small diameter ranging different diameters pipe holes. You are having a small orifice. The water is going with a high pressure and hitting the surface. How the impact is done in such type of cases, we can see in the impact of jets and pumps. Pump ante enti? What are the features of pumps? What are the characteristics of pumps? What are the classification of pumps? What are the merits, demerits and applications of pumps? You can see in this unit. Next, you are having some momentum equation. అంటే ఒక వాటర్ జెట్ అనేది ఫ్లో అవుతున్నప్పుడు you are having some momentum equation. Based on that, you are having some problems also. Right? Next, impact of jet. అంటే impact of jet, effect of jet on a stationary and moving vanes. Vane అంటే ఏంటి? ఒక రెక్క. For example, if you take a fan, you are having three vanes or three blades. Okay, so whenever a pipe is hit onto the fan on fan blades, what happen? Water వెళ్ళి veins కి తగిలి water will get distributed, రౌండ్గా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అవుతుంది. ఇవన్నీ ఎందుకు చదువుతున్నాము? Why we are studying all these concepts means this is used to study in your hydral power plant. అంటే ఒక డ్యామ్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ జెట్ అనేది వెరీ యూస్ఫుల్. ఒక డ్యామ్ కన్స్ట్రక్షన్ చేసేటప్పుడు పంప్ వర్కింగ్ ఈస్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్, రైట్? సో యూ కెన్ సీ ద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ జెట్ ఆన్ స్టేషనరీ అంటే కదలకుండా ఉన్న వేన్కి, మూవింగ్లో ఉన్న వేన్కి, ఫ్లాట్ వేన్స్కి, కర్వ్డ్ వేన్స్కి. అంటే ఇవన్నీ సమ్ డెరివేషన్స్ యూఆర్ హ్యావింగ్. బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద డెరివేషన్స్ యూఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ సమ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ పంప్స్. Introduction, features and applications. Introduction, features and applications. So here we were discussing about the various features of pumps. What are the types of pumps? Centrifugal pump, reciprocating pump. So like this, we are having two main classification of pumps. Based on that, you are having the efficiencies and performance calculations. If you see the centrifugal pump, you have to study the pump terminology, main components of pumps, working principle of pumps. Next, multi-stage pumps. In the multi-stage pumps also, you can see the pump terminologies, why we are using multi-stage pumps in the hydral power plant, what are the main components and the working principle of the multi-stage pumps. Next, performance and characteristic curves. You are seeing the same whatever the unit 3, unit 2 you are discussing. You can see the performance characteristic curves also for this pumps. Next, unit 5. Unit 5, which is the last part of the last unit of the part B, that is hydraulic turbines. In the unit 4, we are discussing about the pumps and the impact of jets. Unit 5 discusses about hydraulic turbines. Part A లో ఏం చెప్పుకున్నాము? Gas turbines and steam turbines. Gas and steam turbines. Here we are using hydraulic turbines, means water. ఇది ఎక్కడ యూస్ చేస్తాయి? So for civil engineers, for mechanical engineers, for EEE engineers, hydraulic turbines concept should be known thoroughly. ఎందుకంటే మెకానికల్ ఇంజనీర్స్ అక్కడ వర్క్ చేస్తారు, సివిల్ ఇంజనీర్స్ అక్కడ వర్క్ చేస్తారు, అండ్ EEE electrical engineers also will work there. So what is the concept here? You know what is the meaning of a turbine, right? ఇందాక మనం చెప్పుకున్న యూనిట్స్లో జస్ట్ ఎ టర్బైన్. Hydraulic means water. Then what are the classifications of hydraulic turbines? What are the classifications of hydraulic turbines? We will study in the unit 5. And the working principles, efficiency calculations, performance characteristics, design principles for different types of Pelton wheel, Francis wheel, Kaplan turbines, etc. అంటే టర్బైన్స్లో ఇది పెల్టాన్ ఒక టైపు, ఫ్రాన్సిస్ ఒక టైపు, Kaplan ఒక టైపు. ఇవన్నీ some sort of turbines, depends upon the application they are using. Next, governing of turbines. Governing means ఒక పైన ఒక మానిటర్ చేయడం, మానిటరింగ్ ద టర్బైన్స్. అంటే ఎంత ఫ్లోలో వెళ్తుంది, ఎక్కడ వరకు మనం పంపించాలి, ఎక్కడ వాల్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ వాల్ క్లోజ్ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ ప్రాసెసింగ్ జరుగుతుంది. దిస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ shown in the governing of turbines, and also their performance and characteristic curves we can see in the governing turbines. Next, hydropower plant. Hydropower అంటే ఈ by making use of all these pumps, impact of jets, turbines, పవర్ అనేది ఎలా జనరేట్ అవుతుంది అనేది మనం ఇక్కడ చదువుతాం. సో ఇన్ ద hydropower కాన్సెప్ట్ యూ కెన్ సీ ద కాంపనెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ హైడ్రో ఎలక్ట్రిక్ పవర్ ప్లాంట్. అంటే హైడ్రో ఎలక్ట్రిక్ పవర్ ప్లాంట్ గురించి we will discuss the concept of hydroelectric power plant. What are the main components of hydroelectric power plant? How the power generates, how the water is flowing in, how the water is flowing out, and how the power is generated, where the power is stored, and where the power is passed, in which lines, and finally to the society. Ivanni we can discuss in the components of hydroelectric power plant. Based upon the hydroelectric power plant, you are having some problems also. Very interesting and simple problems. Next, pumped storage system, estimation of water power potential. Ikkada what is the meaning of pumped storage systems? The pumped storage system means whenever the water is coming from a top channel flowing into the lower channel and it is stored at some point, for the further process we are pumping the water from the storage systems. Avi enti, how, why we are doing idanతా ఒక line diagram lo we can see in the topic, and also the performance evaluations, estimation analysis. Next, based upon the layout or based upon the plan of the hydraulic electric power plant, we are having some characteristics, we are having some performances, that is estimation of load on turbines, లోడ్ కర్వ్స్, ఎస్టిమేషన్ ఆఫ్ లోడ్, ఎంత లోడ్ అనేది మనకి టర్బైన్ బ్లేడ్ మీద పడుతుంది. బేస్డ్ అపాన్ ద ఈచ్ బ్లేడ్ వీ కెన్ షో డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్స్, రైట్. నెక్స్ట్, లోడ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ అంటే ఎంత లోడ్ పడుతుంది, రైట్, ఎంత లోడ్ పడుతుంది, ఏ టైంలో లోడ్ ఎక్కువ పడుతుంది, ఏ టైంలో లోడ్ తక్కువ పడుతుంది. కెపాసిటీ ఫ్యాక్టర్, how much capacity of water it can be shared or how much capacity it can be bared. Utilization factor, diversity factor, load duration curve, firm power, secondary power, prediction of load. So even is small definitions, but in this unit majorly you come across a problem and a theoretical question. What the theoretical question? What is the layout, or draw the layout of hydroelectric power plant and describe the definitions అని వస్తుంది. లేదంటే write short notes or differentiate between Pelton and Kaplan turbines, or you can see the problems, based upon the estimation of load curves, utilization factors. It is very easy, which are real-time problems, So like this, the unit 5 gives the information about hydraulic turbines and hydro power plant. So with this, the part B is completed. Then, what are the textbooks to be referred in your library once the college is open? You can see these are all the textbook, whatever the seeing the textbooks as well as reference books. These are all related to the mechanical engineering subject only. Thermal engineering, part A. Thermal engineering, part A. Hydraulics and fluid mechanics, part B. Fluid mechanics and fluid machinery, part A. Part B. Fluid mechanics, part B. Introduction to fluid mechanics, part B. Fluid mechanics and applications, part B. Water power engineering, part B. So finally, at the end of the unit or at the end of the mid, before the mid, I will provide PDF notes, or I will provide the notes. Based upon the notes, you can prepare the mid exams. Don't worry, everything you can see in the PDF or everything you can understand in the PPT. Once the college is open, we will detailedly discuss about the concepts. Right? Understood? So with this, we'll conclude the syllabus part. In the next class we will discuss about the Unit 1 Introduction to the IC Engines, right? Thank you.